Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from New York City. You're watching the round of 16 of the WCS America Premier League, and we're about to jump into the last game. Those are the players typing that they are ready. It's time to hit the start game button before they yell at me.
Really cool games here, and that double 2-racks, you know, I think it was a planned thing to do on Cloud because Alive's thinking going bio versus Polt is insanely difficult. This guy is like the master of Marines and Marauders. And Cloud Kingdom is a more difficult map to use the mech style play, so why not try something a little offbeat, try to catch Polt off guard.
We get to that third map, which is Daybreak, which some might consider a lot more receptive to the mech style of play. But we'll see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last game of the WCS America round of 16 Premier League. The winner will advance to the round of 8, the finals, well, the playoffs, we should say, which will occur weekend of June 1st. Again, all 8 players will be live in studio once again, but here we are in the final game. In the bottom left-hand location, I present to you the red Terran player representing Team Evil Geniuses. He is alive. And his opponent. In the top right-hand location, moved over to the United States last year to attend the University of Texas, where he currently lives. 1 win away from claiming a spot in the round of 8 of WCS Premier League. He is Polt. Quick gas with the guy.
This is the map we saw the insane Banshee madness in the Alive versus Ryung game. Of course, that was the map that Alive beat Ryung on. So we'll see if he's going to do a similar strategy here. Daybreak is a pretty interesting map for TVT. It takes a long time to walk an army across the map. So like mid-game attacks are a little bit harder to pull off. There's a lot of airspace, so Banshees are amazing. And then also drop play in the mid-game, especially Doom drops. The third base is actually kind of far from the natural. So if you're trying to position your army between your natural and third to try to defend that angle, and the opponent just picks their whole army up and drops in your main, that's decided a lot of different games on Daybreak. But then if you put your army too close to your main, they can Doom drop their army in the spot between your natural and third and siege up and cut your third base off. There's so many basically positions where you can be kind of like checkmated in if the opponent gets there. So medevac play, using the speed of them to transfer units quickly around is very powerful on Daybreak.
So we're seeing like completely opposite builds from both of these two guys. Alive, focusing on that economy, the fastest command center you can get, while his opponent Polt going for a very fast gas, even getting a second gas, investing so much into tech, which is a pretty interesting clash in styles as far as the early game is concerned. So it's a situation where Polt must do damage with whatever he decides to do, or he's going to be at a deficit as the game goes forward. But Alive is not going to have too many utilities out to deal with whatever Polt decides to throw at him.
Command Center first, the build Alive is doing in this map is actually a very rare build in TVT nowadays. Mostly because if your opponent opens Reaper, you pretty much just die. But Daybreak is a map where Reaper opening is insanely rare because you have to cross the map and then there's really nowhere to jump up to. So it's Reaper opening is kind of weak on Daybreak against everything but Command Center first. So it's a very intelligent, you know, very small risk that Alive is taking here. And Daybreak is actually a map where you might not automatically die against Reaper going Command Center first, just because it's such a weak build here. He's also went 2 barracks before gas, so he won't have tech to deal with the first attack of Alive, or Polt, excuse me, is going to be the Banshee. And he's not going to have a Viking out in time to deal with it, which is going to be a little bit stressful.
If there's good news, he's going to have 2 orbital commands, which means more scans, presumably, against the cloak play. But he needs to identify what's happening so he can more easily react to it. So let's see, be close to a scan. Yeah, probably in the next minute he's going to scan his opponent to see exactly what's going on. And Polt's, obviously his buildings are positioned in such a way where Alive should be able to identify what's happening. The question is, can he react appropriately to the speed of these cloak Banshees once he scans, which I assume he's going to do in a second.
This patrolling SCV by Alive is so useful because he knows Polt hasn't sent any unit out of his base, which means he knows Polt didn't make a helling. Now it's going to poke up. What does it see? Oh, beautiful positioning by Polt. Can't quite get vision of that tech lab. Really, really nice, well thought out positioning there. So,
Scan any second. He has 60 energy. Oh, no, he just dropped a mule. Interesting.
so one thing is he may not be scanning because he just is going to do a build where he covers all his bases. He's getting to eBay anyway. He's going very heavy bios. Still no factory made. He's actually getting stim pack before factory. So what he's looking to do is defend and attack, then probably do some very aggressive play with a huge Marine count in kind of a couple minutes from now, basically, once he has like 2 medevacs and stim, and he's going to have a ton of Marines.
No turrets started just yet, and he's 10 energy away from a scan in his main base. Finally, a turret started there at his natural expansion. Cloak goes down from the Banshee now. Polt can't know that Alive doesn't have a scan right now, so he's going to be very cautious, and a scan is just now able to be used here from Alive. So he's probably the scan to try to shoo this Banshee away. Nice kiting here from Polt. He's going to keep that Banshee alive and engage here. The turret about to finish.
That Banshee
barely
was...
stays alive.
There's a turret in the main base as well, but of course, Polt's micro, he can still do damage to the Banshee, just can't run into the middle line. But he can pick off some Marines here.
Yep.
Maybe even get that depot. He might just be happy to kill the depot. The one advantage of just right-clicking a depot like this is he can position it so it can't be killed. Oh, watch out for the turret! This Banshee's cornered by 2 turrets.
Flirting with danger. Polt's extending across the map here, too.
Yeah, this is, he has the Widow Mines, which are going to be very useful because there's no long-range unit to take them out. There's just Marines. But the Marines will have stim shortly, and of course, if the Widow Mine's not pre-burrowed, the Marines can just instantly kill them before they can burrow.
Here they come, the 2 Widow Mines. Got to be careful with those, Polt. You have to burrow them before the Marines come. The Marines going to target them down. Oh, no! That's not good at all.
No, that was not what...
I'm not going to say that's disastrous, but...
He really at least wanted to have one burrowed in front of the base to keep tabs on units. He's being really annoying with these Banshees, though. I mean, the one that got some kills earlier, I think, returned... Oh, scan. Stim is not quite done. Now it's done. Unfortunately, finishing... If he had Stim, he would have killed the Banshee with that scan.
2 more SCV kills. There's the Stim, there's the scan, and there's the dead Banshee. But, you know, losing those 2 items, he's going to have to back up, moving into orbital to his natural expansion. His 3rd is on the way. Worker count should be interesting. 43 to 31 in favor of Alive. 5 workers killed. Well, considering how fast he got those cloaked Banshees, he's not going to be ridiculously ecstatic by that stat, but still continue to kill Marines across the map here.
Polt also double expanded behind his cloaked Banshee push. So, ooh, Banshee, don't cloak.
Oh.
When it cloaked, it had only 2 energy left, so it was a very short-lived cloak. But Polt trying to get what he can done with these Banshees, but so far Alive has been really good with using the Marines to prevent any significant economic damage. And Polt's going double E-base, so interestingly enough, he actually might get ahead of Alive in upgrades eventually. I mean, Alive already has the 1 attack done because he got the E-base so fast, but he hasn't continued upgrades. So if he doesn't start getting to armors very soon, he is going to start falling behind.
Adding on a 2nd engineering bay and an armory, but you're right, it is interesting he hasn't started that next upgrade on that engineering bay. Coming across the map with some Marines, the Cloak Banshee's still trying to be annoying, halting the progress of that command center. Going to be marching into his opponent's main base, trying to find a hole anywhere he can do damage, anywhere there aren't any turrets, and he finds it.
He's found a little bit of a sweet spot here. He's getting it back to natural, poking away at a few more SCVs. This is a really annoying, and now I can go back into main. If he can delay the armory, that's going to delay +2 weapons.
Yep.
He also sees the upgrade timing of his opponent, which is nice. Or the armory timing, which kind of tells you the upgrade timing.
Okay, so also Polt, remember, he got that 3rd command center, so it's not like he's drastically behind economically, because again, the 3rd is not even yet done from Alive, and Polt's had his for a while, so that's additional mules.
Oh, Alive is frustrated. Wants to get 2 Vikings, but he's been supply blocked for a bit, so his Vikings aren't coming out. Now they're being started. But this Banshee just continues to rack up kills. The 17 kills now. This is the one from the very start of the game.
Yep, he sent it back to get repaired, and it came back to do some damage.
You got to treat your Banshees well.
Yes. So, while this started out a little bit stressful for Polt, it's looking like, remember, he lost those 2 Widow Mines. This looks like it's even. I don't think either player has a significant advantage. Another 4 scan there from Polt. Great control, up to 22 kills.
The Vikings, you know what? The Vikings, out of respect for the Banshee, they're not going to hunt it down in the bottom left. They're just going to... Okay, never mind. One's saying, you know what? I don't care. He may be a veteran, but I will take him out. So Banshee's days are numbered now. Doesn't have enough energy to actually does. It could recloak.
Let's appreciate the physics of the Banshee dying and falling to the planet down below. The remains of it.
Oh, and another Banshee coming out, trying to follow in the footsteps of the past one. There goes the stim. He's trying to run it down. I think he should.
Taking it out.
Stim Marines will kill this thing so fast.
All right, so from here, we'll have to see what movements these guys make to deny additional expansions, because it looks like they're both kind of posturing towards their own third bases, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky as far as defending those two locations. You know, both these players going for bio, and it's interesting because you were talking about before how we know Polt is good at this. Uh-oh, medevacs. Okay, that scared me for a second. But Alive electing to go with the bio against Polt, even though, you know, we talked about how good Polt is with his bio.
When Alive played Major on this map, he actually went bio as well. Major went mech. And Alive was able to just dismantle Major's mech using the fact that the third is kind of spread out on this map, so it's not that easy for mech to actually cover all three bases. And he found a hole and ran through it. So this could be a map where Alive just doesn't feel as comfortable going mech as, say, Akalon Waste, where the three bases are so close.
Yes.
It's much easier to cover all three from drops and or run bys. We're in a situation now where it's very even except for a couple things. One, Polt has a slightly bigger tank count, but Alive has better upgrades. He's basically one upgrade ahead. They both have one armor, and Alive has the second attack moments from finishing, as well as the mech attack going down as well. So a little bit of an upgrade advantage for Alive, a little bit of a higher tank count for Polt.
Polt also setting up a lot of static defense in his main. He's got about 4 turrets and a sensor tower right there on the left edge. So taking the drop threat very seriously from Alive. And Alive is a little bit more active on the map here. He's feeling a little bit more confident with his position. Polt going to come out and try to retake back that map control.
Big Doom drop coming in from Alive.
Polt is there with some Marines. He needs to sprint up there and target down at least the tanks, maybe some medevacs if he can. Got to siege up that tank right away, but Alive trying to make this happen right here, right now. Polt scrambling to try to deal with this, but a great position here from Alive on the high ground with all of those tanks, and he's in Polt's production.
This might actually be game. I mean, Daybreak, these Doom drops are so strong. Alive saw Polt out on the map, knew he had the opportunity to drop in the main.
Oh no, Polt's going to go for it, sending all of his Marines forward, trying to split them as optimally as possible, and he is going to clean this up. And but again, Alive doing so much damage there. And he's also going to send a Marine squadron to the third, realizing that Polt's entire army is in his main, but Polt reacting very fast. He has the sensor tower up. He's going to lift off the orbital, evacuate the SCVs. He's not going down without a fight.
No, he should be to push these Marines back, but actually Alive with a good concave, taking a great trade here.
Oh, got to keep those tanks alive. Well, okay, Polt's going to clean that up. Alive retains the supply advantage, 148 to 112, and now Polt has to, you know, take a deep breath and come together with his army. Focus on the plan, the next plan.
This is by no means unwinnable from Polt. I mean, he's down in the Marine count, but the economies are almost dead even, and he has enough tanks that he should be able to defend his 3 bases. Oh, Alive was thinking about going up there.
It's a risky move.
Yeah, it would have been a very poor move with the size of that ramp, trying to squeeze his army up there. Oh, he's going for another Doom drop. His whole army's loaded up.
Sensor tower sees it.
Polt's got to get back to the main super fast. Actually, he might just kill the medevacs.
Wow, one medevac getting down to 14 HP. He's going to stim out there and try to catch it. Try to catch Alive unsieged, but Alive going to siege in time.
That's a lot of missile turrets in Polt's main.
Yeah, he's not
he wants to
around.
take no chances.
Like, you know what? I'm not going to let that happen again.
And that was very smart for Alive not to go for that drop, and instantly pulling back. If he went for that with the Sim Marines there, he would have literally unloaded almost nothing before all the medevacs died.
So we're in a situation where Polt is a little bit restricted to his 3 bases, so Alive's going to have a much easier time of moving out and taking a 4th. Because Alive has that map control. Polt is still scrambling to try to catch back up in this game. He's going to be on 3 bases for a bit, and now Alive is just going to try to focus on preventing his opponent from getting forward. He's going to charge forward here, though, with a bunch of Marines. The tanks are getting nice shots from the back. A concave is better here for Polt, but Alive just has so many units. And again, he has that +3 weapons upgrade. A tank getting on that factory, but dying immediately. There's a tank on the high ground here from Polt, but Alive charging into the natural. He's up 174 to 101 in supply. This could be it for Polt in WCS America Premier League.
Tanks are rolling up on siege. The SCVs are coming off, but I don't think they'll do too well.
Wow, GG, and Alive does it. The Evil Geniuses player taking out Polt 2-1 will be your last player into the WCS Premier League round of 8 to join Ryung against the 3 Zergs and the 3 Protosses. And unfortunately for Polt, any University of Texas fans, he's going to be out of the Premier League, but he'll be a challenger.
That has to be a heartbreaking loss
Yeah.
for Polt. I mean, just he's in a situation where he's done with university, so he's like, okay, I can finally focus on the game. But now he won't be able to play in the playoffs that are going to come up in just over a week from now. He's going to have to actually go through that challenger division, and I fully expect him. How good Polt is, he should make it through there.
Yeah.
And come back. But for now, it's Ryung and Alive crushing through this group. They're going to be in the playoffs, and Alive has got to be happy with that result.
Oh, absolutely, of course. It seemed like he was very confident throughout that series. After taking game one, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go for proxy 2 reaction, try to make this happen. But then bringing it back down to the basics in game 3, going for a command center first, showing his confidence in being able to hold off early shenanigans and going for a very economic-based build, willing to go to that later game against Polt, and especially down that bio route. And then able to take advantage of a few small mistakes from Polt as far as losing those 2 Widow Mines a little bit earlier. And then, of course, going for that Doom drop into his opponent's main base, which definitely set the tone for that game.
Doom drops on Daybreak are really scary. The land pathing, just trying to get back into your main, because the ramp from natural domain is kind of far back. So if you're in the middle, and what happened there is Alive had the watchtower because he had map control, and so he pretty much had vision there. And then when Polt moved to take the watchtower, Alive's like, well, you're out there. I'm just going to jump right into your main and camp your production, take a very cost-efficient engagement.
All right, get your print screen buttons ready and get your Reddit post ready, because we have the round of 8. WCS America Premier League. It's going to be Hero versus Alicia, Moonglade versus Ryung in the upper half of the bracket, and at the bottom half, we're going to have Crank versus Alive and Revival versus Snoot.
Wow,
That's going to be fun.
This is a very exciting bracket, and the racial distribution is actually really well balanced as far as Hero and Alicia are playing each other, but there's both sides of the bracket have at least one of each race.
Yes.
Of course, the top bracket has 2 Protosses, the bottom bracket has 2 Zergs, and then both sides have one of the other races. Really some awesome matchups here.
Also no team kills,
which for Axiom is pretty crazy, because they had 3 players in the top 8.
So we could have 3 Axiom players in the semifinals. That's definitely possible. But guys, that's going to wrap up, of course, our day today. But we're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to have an interview with the winner Alive. So guys, stay tuned. You're watching WCS America, the final day of the round of 16. We'll be right back.